Pretty spiritual.
Hi, I'm Shay.
And I'm Amy.
And welcome back to another episode of
Pretty Spiritual.
Hey, hun.
Hey, hon. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. I'm so excited that we're recorded in our new location today.
I am so excited and I'm so comfy.
I know.
As much as our old location was like, it saw us through the first, 16 episodes?
Yeah, definitely.
I could not wait until we could be in our new studio.
I know, and I feel like it's going to be so cozy in here, especially when we get into like the autumn and winter months. I feel like it's just going to be so cozy.
We were so tempted to have that fire on today as well.
I know. Never mind the fact that we're like well into spring/summer now. Like, yeah, it was tempting.
So, hun, do you want to say what this week's episode is about?
Yeah, so this week we're talking all about crystals, which I'm so excited about. I feel like I'm going to learn a lot in this episode as well. So this week we're going to be talking about what crystals actually are and how people can actually use them in a way that it just makes sense.
Perfect.
So, why do people like crystals?
Because they're shiny rocks. No, there's two types of people that like crystals, and then there's people that are a mix of both. So there's people that collect crystals because they're minerals and they like collecting minerals, and then there's people that like having crystals from a holistic point and use them in their practice or in their day-to-day life. And then there's people that like me that like both of them. I appreciate the mineral aspect, and then I also use them in my practice and around my house, etc. So I think the main thing I want to get across as well is, from a holistic point, crystals will not fix you. I see them as an aid, like a support in practice that you're doing. So using them in meditation, for example, using a clear quartz would like amplify your meditation or your intention. So I think, just to be clear, crystals are not going to fix your life. But they can help support you to do so.
Okay, that's so interesting. So from a holistic point of view, what benefits can people gain from using crystals?
So it would depend on the crystal. I mean, there's a lot of people out there that don't believe that crystals hold any form of benefit. But for me, my understanding, I wouldn't say understanding, my opinion is that crystals have been in the ground for millions of years, hundreds of years, whatever, and they hold the energy of the earth, which is an energy that I pull through in my practice. So they are essentially a talisman of that energy that I want to channel. Now every crystal holds a different type of energy, so you could, like I said previously, have clear quartz. Clear quartz is a master amplifier. It amplifies your intentions, and it also amplifies the power of other crystals. You could have rose quartz, which is unconditional love, and whether you channel that towards yourself or to someone else. You can have amethyst, which is for sleep, but also intuition. So it really does depend on the crystal that you're using, what benefits that you're going to be supported with. For me, one of my favorite crystals is amethyst because it's a great all-rounder, and what people don't realize is because amethyst is a quartz, it's also has the ability of cleansing, the same way quartz does. But yeah, that's one of my favorite crystals to have by the bed. Some people find it too powerful to sleep next to. I think you're one of those people. I am one of those
people. Yeah, I love amethyst, but I really struggle. I feel like I have very, very vivid, chaotic dreams if I have it next to the bed. I can have it in the bedroom, but I always place it nearer to my feet instead of to my head, and that is okay.
Yeah, so I adore amethyst and I don't struggle with that, and I have a massive chunk of it next to my bed, and I have a massive portal in my living room as well. But yeah, really it's kind of, what are you looking for support in, and that's how I would choose your crystal. But then equally I would say go with what you're drawn to, and maybe that's what you need, because sometimes people don't know what they're looking for. And I know for me, I definitely select crystals based on the vibe that I'm getting from said crystal. It's really strange because I obviously sell crystals. I look at it completely different now from when I first started collecting them or using them. And I used to walk in a shop and just select what came to me because it can get expensive. So yeah, I look at things a lot differently now, but that would be my advice to people.
That's so helpful. And you mentioned obviously all crystals come from the ground. Does every crystal have a grounding energy to it, or again does that very much depend on the type of crystal that you're working with?
So that depends on the type of crystal that you're working with. So your grounding crystals are going to be things like your red jasper, your black tourmaline, your black obsidian, smoky quartz, again another quartz crystal with the smokiness of it adds in that grounding. Hematite, an amazing grounding crystal, but then like amethyst, there is grounding there, but not as much as you're going to get from your typical grounding crystals.
So what are some of the biggest misconceptions that people have about crystals?
So I said in the beginning about crystals fixing your life. Yes, they can support with that, but you're the person that has got to heal and do the fixing. And don't get me wrong, I believe that if I carry a certain crystal, my day's going to go a certain way, but just having that rock is not going to fix everything. Trust me. Like the amount of crystals I have in my house, and when things go wrong, like, yeah, the universe has plans for you, and the universe's plans will roll out whether you like it or not, and whether it's good or bad. So not getting obsessed with the outcome of what you want this crystal to do is one of my biggest pieces of advice, and it's a misconception that I see quite a lot. And it's great to have something as a tool, but that's what you need to remember. They are tools. They're not miracle workers.
Yeah, definitely. I couldn't agree more with that. And I feel like for me, I think it's all about, like most spiritual practices, it's about the intention that you've got as to why you want to work with that particular crystal and what outcome it is that you're hoping for. And then I almost see a crystal as like an amplifier of that energy that you're already manifesting, putting out there. Like I almost see the crystal as an amplifier. I don't know if that's like an official reason, but that's just how I view it when I'm working with them.
And knowing the work that you do, that is definitely how you should be using crystals, and you'll be amplifying the intention you've set into that stone. And it's why I love clear quartz. And we've got a big chunk of clear quartz here.
Ta-da!
Ta-da!
We love it.
Himalayan clear quartz, love. But that's why that's one of my favourite crystals, because clear quartz can replace any other crystal. It can channel any intention and amplify intentions massively. I think it's such a powerful stone. As far
as it's so pretty as well. I feel like if you're somebody that has, I'm thinking about people that might want crystals in their home, but they have like a certain aesthetic, and then they might be like, but that crystal's not going to go with my vibe. I feel like clear quartz literally goes anywhere, like with anything, regardless of your aesthetic vibe as well. So I feel like it's quite good for that.
It is literally my favourite, and I have so much of it, as you know. My mum did point out to me that the reason that my emotions probably are too high, because even I make mistakes with crystals, my emotions were probably so high and things were amplified because I had about 12 pieces of clear quartz, big ones, in my living room. And that's something that I think people should be aware of. Too many crystals can sometimes be a bad thing, because the energy that is coming off them can sometimes be overwhelming. And you do kind of get a bit magpie-like when you start collecting crystals, and you're like, ooh, shiny rock, ooh, shiny rock. I know
that was me.
That was me as well.
Ooh, dopamine. Let me have another one.
Oh, it's Friday afternoon, I'm going to the crystal shop again. Yeah, and that was me. And you can have too much of something. Like I see on TikTok all the time, people needing to de-stash their crystal collections. And it's like, geez, you have so much. But it is fun. And if you want lots of crystals, that is fine. Just be aware of the energy that is coming off them. If you don't believe in the energy, fine. Collect your shiny rocks. But for anyone wanting to use them in a spiritual practice, that would be one of my cautions I lay out. Because they can get overwhelming. I think my other misconception is just buying it's not a misconception, again, it's a caution. Just buying a crystal and not knowing what it's capable of. So yes, going off the vibes, the universe will give you what you need in that time. But if you I would say to anyone, familiarise yourself with the type of stones you're working with, because there are certain ones that are very, very powerful and can have a huge impact on how you are as a person or your life. Like, we'll talk about moldavite, for example. And moldavite's not a crystal, it's a tektite. So it comes from when a meteor hit in Germany, I want to say, unless it was Czechoslovakia, and like 100 years ago or something. It's been so long since I spoke about moldavite, but anyway, it's a transformation stone, and it is deemed to be so powerful. At one point there was this big trend on TikTok of people getting moldavite and being like, oh my god, it completely flipped my life upside down. And people became scared of it. They were like, if I get this, is my family going to die? Like, am I going to lose everything? And real big, like, scaremongering was going on. Which is not the case. It will only give you what you need and what was probably coming your way anyway, but you are just on that fast path of transformation. And I absolutely love moldavite. Our healer wears moldavite. And I remember her saying to me, you're going to have that within a month. And I was like, no, I'm too scared of it. And then literally within a month, I had a piece of moldavite around my neck. So be aware of what you're using. Yes, your intention matters, but do your research on the stone that you have and what it is capable of. Because when things start changing and you're not sure why, it'll, one, help you have a better understanding. But I think it's always wise to be knowledgeable about something that you're doing.
Yeah, definitely. So I want to come on to a bit more about like people choosing specific crystals, but before we get on to that, what tips would you give about like crystal hygiene? How do we make sure that if we are, because we've just talked about how crystals hold energy and we know that they pick up energy from the people, the environment. So if we are buying new crystals or keeping crystals in our house, working with crystals in our spiritual practice, what does good crystal hygiene look like?
So good crystal hygiene looks like cleansing your crystals because they absorb energy, they need a chance to charge up as well, and they can become a little bit depleted. So the simplest way for someone to cleanse their crystals, and this should be a regular thing and then reset with intention, would be to use selenite, which is a crystal. And selenite's a really good crystal to have around the home. So I have pieces of selenite above like my doors because it cleanses the energy is coming through. But you can literally wave selenite over any crystal and cleanse it. Selenite's a self-cleansing crystal, so it doesn't need cleansing itself. So if you're not into the full woo-woo of cleansing them under a full moon or whatever, selenite can work. Certain crystals can be cleansed with water, but there are certain crystals that you can't put in water because they either become toxic or they dissolve. Anything usually ending in an ite should not go in water. You can cleanse crystals and charge them in the sun, in the moon. But I would say a good rule of thumb is once a week for me. But that's because I'm working with a lot of energy all the time. So sometimes it's more than once a week. Sometimes I leave it until the full moon and I do a big job lot. And charge them up as well. But good hygiene would be make sure you're cleansing, resetting your intentions.
No, that sounds really helpful. And what about smoke cleansing as well? Because sometimes I will smoke cleanse my crystals.
That's one of my favourite ways to cleanse crystals, and I didn't even think about it. A bit of incense or like literally over smoke. Yes, smoke cleansing is a great way. So usually when I get a new bracelet or something, I smoke cleanse. And to be fair, you can sound cleanse as well. So that's another way. You can find cleansing bells on certain platforms that you can listen to. Lots available. But
thank you. That has been so insightful. I'm learning so much. So if somebody is starting out on their crystal journey and they've been interested in working with crystals, but maybe slightly put off or overwhelmed because there's so much choice, and like you mentioned, you do see certain people online dramatizing crystals slightly.
Yeah.
Like, what advice would you give to somebody when it comes to choosing their first crystals? Anything that they need to know.
Yeah, so again, here's a theme here. Anybody that wants to say, like, buy their first crystal, I would say go for a clear quartz.
Yeah.
But then there are also what I would call starter crystals, something that energy is a bit more gentle. So say my top 5 crystals potentially would be clear quartz, amethyst, rose quartz, selenite for the cleansing, and then lastly I would say a tourmaline for the grounding as well, and also protection. So that's a good basis to be at because you're covering a lot of areas. I think if someone is specifically looking to work with a certain, I don't know, chakra, look at what crystals sit within that chakra and maybe narrow it down from there. It would be really interesting for us to go more into chakra work and how crystals complement that, I think.
Definitely.
Because the connections excite me so much. If there is a specific practice you're doing, like meditation or astral travel or something like that, I would look into crystals that can support you with that.
Okay, that's really, really helpful. So of your top 5 crystals, let's go through each of them and talk about the key benefits, and then are there any specific placements that you would use? So like you talked before about with selenite, you place that above your doorways. With the others, are there any specific placements? So you said amethyst to begin with. So what are some of the benefits from amethyst and where would you be using that?
Amethyst, again, it has grounding like abilities, but I would say for meditation, for dream work, things like that, that's why you were getting your wild dreams, because the universe is trying to take you probably into the astral realm and whatnot and give you downloads. So it can get really hard to sleep with it because of that reason. So it strengthens your intuition. It's great for people that struggle with sleep sometimes. Again, not everyone. So I know people that really struggle with their sleep and use amethyst by their bed and have slept since having that.
Really? That's amazing.
What I would recommend. Again, psychic abilities. That's amethyst.
And then I think you said rose quartz.
So rose quartz is a lovely crystal.
It's one of my favourites. I feel like whenever I go to a crystal shop, I always I'll get other things, but I always get a rose quartz.
And use rose quartz.
Yeah,
but you're very heart-centered, aren't you? And it resonates with the heart chakra.
Yeah.
So I would wear rose quartz on my heart. I would also have rose quartz in a family room. So I have rose quartz in my living room and it's central to where our sofas are. So it's always there, and it just it helps foster a nice loving environment.
Yeah, I love that. It is the stone of love, really, isn't it? Self-love and outwardly love. And heart healing as well. Yes, that's one of the big uses of rose quartz. If someone's going through a really rough time, rose quartz is a really lovely stone to gift someone. I see rose quartz more as like a jewelry piece or like a tumble stone, rather than big pieces. Like I've got big towers of it, but it doesn't resonate with me. I feel like I don't, unless I was doing a self-love meditation, which, let's face it, I don't do a whole lot of meditation right now. That's when I would use a bigger piece. But I think rose quartz is so powerful. You can do so much with just a small amount and in the right place. Yeah, definitely. Like you said, I think it looks beautiful having it on like a necklace anyway. But sometimes I've even got really small pieces and I just like pop them in my bra, and just have it, because it is all about the heart, isn't it? And it's about kind of having it near your heart center. Is just so lovely. Brings in that love. I forgot to add as well. So amethyst resonates with the crown chakra and the third eye chakra. And that is why you experience the wild dreams and all the stuff that's going on up there when you sleep next to it. Okay, perfect. So then the other crystals you mentioned, you said, so clear quartz we've already spoken about. Selenite,
chakras.
yeah. Selenite, we've already spoken about.
Yeah.
And then you said about a tourmaline. So just talk to us a little bit in more detail about what tourmaline is, the benefits, and then where we could place that.
So specifically, I would recommend for starters black tourmaline, because there are lots of other tourmalines and some of them are so pretty. I feel like you'd like pink tourmaline.
Probably, yeah.
Or like green tourmaline's lovely as well.
I think I've got a green tourmaline. And is tourmaline the one that like sometimes has marbling running through it, or am I getting mixed up with something else?
I think you're getting mixed up with something else. Tourmaline looks like a log. It's like very...
I don't know if I've got any of that.
I'll give you some.
Okay. Yeah,
it looks. It reminds me of like a little log. It's like lines.
Oh, I actually don't know if I have got any of that.
I'll show you.
Yeah.
It's it almost looks like it should be wood.
Oh, okay. I know what type of crystal you mean. I just don't know if I've... Does it come in orange?
No.
Okay, I don't think I've got any.
I'll get you some.
Yes, I need some right now.
I love it. So tourmaline I put by my front door, and that is to banish negativity and keep negativity out. It's a great grounding crystal, and I need a lot of grounding a lot of the time. So I always have tourmaline with me. I probably have some in my handbag, to be honest. And again, it's associated with your root chakra because you're keeping yourself steady on the ground. I also wear tourmaline around my heart, and tourmaline will also soften the abilities of other crystals. So when I first started wearing moldavite, do you remember I was wearing tourmaline with it?
Yeah.
But the tourmaline kept falling off, and I was like, the universe's way of telling me, you don't need it. You need to have the full transformation that moldavite's given you. So any grounding crystal, but tourmaline specifically, can be paired with other crystals to not dampen the ability, just soften it.
Okay, that is so interesting. Thank you so much for sharing all of that. I've learned so much in this episode.
I love crystals.
I know, me too. And there's so much to learn, isn't there? So interesting. So for anyone who is listening that is feeling drawn to begin their journey with crystals, what is one piece of closing advice that you would give them?
I would say if you don't know where to start and you don't have an intention, go with your intuition. Like, trust the vibes of the stones that are calling to you, because there is a reason they're calling to you, and the universe thinks this is what you need. You might not realize it, but it is. So that would be my one piece of advice. So don't overthink it. Just go with the flow, which is rich coming from me. And yeah, trust yourself to find the support that you need within the right crystal.
Thank you. That's amazing advice. Thank you so much for joining us on another episode of Pretty Spiritual.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow along on any of our platforms.
We hope to see you next Tuesday, the 23rd of June, for the next episode of Pretty Spiritual.
Pretty Spiritual.